Hi everybody, I'm very sorry. I'm very sick and I've been at home for a while, so I decided that I was just gonna record this video and upload this on YouTube because I felt kind of bad that I haven't posted in a while. I was getting the urge to upload something, so I'm here.
In which Sakusa and Atsumu aren't very fond of one another. For some reason they always seem to piss the other off. However, that annoyance didn't stop an underlying feeling from developing. What happens when the team's couples are brought onto a couples game show and Sakusa and Atsumu are forced to act like a couple for the sake of the show? All characters featured are my own interpretations of their personalities based on what I've seen in the show and in the manga. They are owned by Haruchi Furudate. The background art is by Haikyuu on Twitter. Link will be in the description. Warnings. Gay characters. But you probably already know that. Sexual topics. Though not in this chapter, it is likely it will appear in ones to come. With those out of the way, let's get on with the chapter. The team had just finished up on practice. Atsumu and Sakusa's chemistry on the court was undeniable, but it was off the court where the two truly interacted. On the court, they knew how the other played. They were great at playing with each other, but the second that they stepped off, someone would say something and piss the other off. Today was no exception. Great work today everyone. Remember, we don't have practice tomorrow because we're preparing to film the off-season couples show with some of the members of the team. Right, that numbers couple show. The idea seemed so stupid to Kayumi. Why would anyone ever want to be on a show to test the strength of their relationship? People in general crack and make bad decisions under pressure, and when you're in a constant state of pressure it's bound to happen. Hayomi ikn yeah, just dying to talk to me, so I thought I'd be so gracious to come over. That constant state of pressure was sitting right next to him. I was actually really hoping to avoid talking to anyone for the entirety of my long weekend. Sakusa looked over to Atsumu, giving him a soft glare. Atsumu, however, never let his smug grin leave his face. That grin, it's so. He couldn't describe it. No matter how hard he tried to rationalize it, something about the mutual annoyance gave Kayumi an odd scene of relief. He'd never admit it though. People for some odd reason seemed to think their interactions had underlying feelings already, and he was not about to give the people making shit videos more leeway. Well, too bad. Cause while you were off in La La Land, Mian told me that we have to head with the rest of the group tomorrow for emotional support. Whatever the fuck that means. Mian, are you serious? Sakusa yelled across the gym. Everyone felt a chill run down their spine. Yeah, exciting. Right. Haha. Well, I got a head out by everyone. And just like that, Kayumi was left sitting down next to Atsumu on the bench. Well, I see you're doing just fine now. I'm gonna head out. See you later. Just great. Sakusa woke up in the morning. It was 8 o'clock. Later than normal, but he wanted to sleep in as he was gonna have to deal with his teammates today in a completely different setting. He was gonna need the extra energy boost, and so he got out of bed and did his morning routine. When he was done, 30 minutes passed and grabbed his stuff to head out. When he arrived at their PR reps building and waited in the lobby, Atsumu was already waiting. For once he looked calm, and something about it made him feel calmer. It wasn't as if he was normally uncomfortable around his teammates, but the sudden change in plans had made him nervous. In a way, Atsumu was that thing keeping him grounded, and he appreciated his presence. Morning, Mia. Morning. He replied. but clearly still tired based on the massive yawn that followed. What time did you go to bed to be so tired? You sound like you ran a marathon. Went to bed at 2. Woke up and couldn't sleep all night. That's oddly specific, Omi. Where'd that idea come from in your big head? I don't know why you're calling my head fat when you look like you could park the whole team's cars on your forehead. Atsumu sat with his jaw wide open and slowly turned to Kayumi in shock. Maybe it was the fact that it was the morning, but when he looked at him he could have sworn he saw the slightest smirk on his lips. That wasn't the telling part. Sakusa had the slighted glint of mischief in his eyes and it made Atsumu fold. That mischief. That look. It made Atsumu freak out. I don't even know how to react to that. That it's just. A soft chuckle left Atsumu's mouth. I didn't know you could be so funny and witty, Omi. That statement. Right there. Shocked Sakusa. Atsumu Miya, the guy who went out of his way to annoy him, being friendly. It was rare the two would ever enjoy each other's presence, but it made the two both incredibly giddy to not be arguing. No one had anything else to say, so they sat in silence. Small smiles on both their faces until others arrived. The group was brought into the meeting room. When everyone took their seats, the PR representative began discussing the topic. Now I am sure most of you are aware of the situation that is going on. Due to Ashijima's last minute trip, we have to replace the couple who is meant to be there for filming. As we are unable to find anyone else who has the time or is willing, you two have been selected to join. Why us? Yeah, we're like the furthest people from dating. Why would making us act as a couple be beneficial in any way? Well, most of the public think the two of you are already dating, so there isn't much work you have to do to get this to work. Besides, your dynamic with one another is one that many people find entertaining. It will definitely add to the show. The two looked each other in the eyes. Their communication on the court was immaculate, but off the court they never had a better mutual understanding. It's like they knew what the other person was thinking before they even opened their mouth. Y'all look like some goofy goobers. It's low-key making me nervous seeing you so civil. Shoyo interjected. It's like both of you are, how do I say this, like. He began trying to make a picture with his arms. The sound effects coming from him. Of course no one understood what he was trying to convey. While you try and figure out whatever you're trying to tell us, the two of you just think about it and give us an answer by Sunday. Of course we can discuss details more later on, but at the moment, we just need to know if you're willing to book. The rest of us have a few logistical things to discuss, so the two of you are good to go. Thank you. Thanks. The two replied and left the room. When they stepped out, Sakusa was the first to speak up. We should meet up later to talk about it. If we're really going to do this, we need to be on the same page. I was thinking the same thing. Atsumu looked at Sakusa. He had a smirk on his face, but it didn't annoy Kayumi the way it normally does. They began walking to the front of the building. Before they part their separate ways, Atsumu looks Sakusa in the eyes. By the way, I wanted to say this earlier, but I couldn't find the right time. Sorry for stopping ya, Omi, but I just wanted to tell ya before I never get the chance. Atsumu then looked away into the floor. Sakusa noticed how nervous he looked. You have a really pretty smile. Before Kayumi could reply to him, Atsumu had already begun running away. Sakusa stood in place, frozen. He wasn't sure how to react. It wasn't like getting compliments was rare for him. Being a volleyball player, being good looking was a given. People were bound to comment on it. But getting a compliment from the Atsumu Miya, the person who went out of his way at every chance to annoy or insult him, it made him extremely flustered. When he came back to reality, Sakusa began walking back to his apartment. However, The entire way back he couldn't get the image of Atsumu out of his head. Why can't I get him out of my head? He knew why, and that made him more confused than anything. He dropped his accent to compliment me. Sakusa then sported a small smile and a small pink tint on his cheeks for the rest of the day.
So, I finished the story back in January. Not like finished the story, but finished this like the first chapter. And I've been meaning to upload it on YouTube, but I never really had like a chance to. But like sick right now. Sorry.